keep each other safe. Hey, 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 Juanita Waterman
Alicia Baza.
and we are here today to inspire and build confidence and help other people, women included, men included, children included, whoever needs a hand up. That's what we came here for. So today we're going to talk about a number of things, but one of the things that Alicia has been doing some research on, that as women and as a human being we want to look out for each other. And some of the ways we look out for each other is health-wise. And there's a huge health issue about sugars in your sodas. So I'm going to hand it over to her because she really wants to share this. She's passionate about it, and she feels it's really important. And I'll tell you some stories I know about these products, but I'll let Alicia go first.
Well, one of the latest things that are trending in the news today is Pepsi and how they're getting rid of aspartame. And when I heard they were getting rid of aspartame, I was like, yay, woohoo, I'm so excited. And I'm turning the page to look, and I'm expecting them to say stevia, and it was sucralose. I was like, wah, wah. Sucralose is not as bad as aspartame. That's also known as Splenda or equal, but it's still artificial. And it does raise your glucose levels and raise your insulin levels. And when your insulin levels are raised, it actually takes any toxins, and that becomes like a fat cell, and it gets stuck in the fat tissue, and the insulin glues it in. So it doesn't allow people to lose weight. People, wake up. They're only trying to make money, and they're taking out the aspartame to try to make you feel like it's safer. It really isn't. Neither is the sugared soda. If I had to pick the two evils, it depends. Is there high fructose corn syrup? Then I would go to the Diet Coke. But if someone were forcing me and put a knife and made me drink one, I would probably go with the Splenda soda. But I don't think it's good for you either, because it tricks the brain into being hungrier. And then they have their partners like Doritos and Lay's, and they're partners. They're making money together. They're not helping you. You're only getting fatter and fatter and fatter and slower, and you're dying of diseases that are contributed by all these different things. They're keeping you like a prisoner. Like a prisoner. Why imprison yourself? Break free. Break free by eating non-processed foods. Take control of your life. You are the master of your life. Don't let them dictate where your body goes and what your body does and how your brain works, because they are looking to make money. That's the bottom line. They're pissed because 5% has decreased in their sales because of the aspartame, because people are trying to make other people aware, because people are trying to help other people. They're just mad because their sales went down. Don't be fooled.
And can I give a couple of examples of people I know and myself? When I drink aspartame or sucralose, I get wicked headaches. But I know people who were overweight and they went on the Atkins diet. And so when you go on the Atkins diet, you have to get off sugar. So they went on all those other sugars. And I did too at one time, but they really lost it. They were like us, lost 100 pounds. The other one just always drank Diet Coke and Diet Soda. They both ended up in a wheelchair in the hospital.
Oh my
And
God.
one of them can barely talk, and the other one has to be in a wheelchair all the time. Now, that is not their fault. I mean, I was doing the same thing. I didn't know, and maybe it wasn't from that, but that's the experience I have with that. So if I have a choice between those three, I'll still take the corn syrup. I know how bad that is for you, but I don't know anybody who ended up in a wheelchair. I know people who ended up 500 pounds, but you
It's
know,
part of
here's
it, though,
the
right?
thing. They do now have soda with real sugar. Again, sugar is not the best thing for you, but if you have to have a Coke, have it with real sugar. They do make Pepsi and Coke with real sugar now. And do
Actually,
not use those artificial sweeteners. They actually make you fatter. We're going to have links for you below if that's something you're interested in. But I'd like to go on to our next subject, which is teenagers. Alicia has teenagers. I have teenagers. I've been reading all these cute quotes about teenagers. they're special people, and they can make a mother insane. Do you agree with that, Alicia?
Totally.
And I think what my message here is don't feel bad that your teenager is, how can I put it in a nice way? A teenager, I guess, right? Don't don't beat yourself up. Be patient with yourself and be patient with them. It's normal. It's a process they go through. For some reason, last time I had teenagers, I was like, my kids are perfect. They would never do wrong. And then when they did wrong, I went into shock and anger and I reacted instead of responded. And it made things worse between me and my teenagers. This time I've had a lot more really good articles on how to deal with teenagers and that it's actually normal and it's not me. I didn't turn them into that. They're teenagers. What do you, I'd like some advice. You give some advice to teenage parents out there, Alicia. You might have something you want to say about that.
Sometimes it's not bad to laugh things off, and sometimes I have to just like laugh, at the things that they say and make fun of it. Sometimes I do let it get the best of me, but a lot of times I like, they'll say something that is super inappropriate, like a curse word or something, and I
Mm.
could even choose to make myself crazy, screaming and yelling at them, not to use those words, or I could just understand that they are not, full, especially boys. Boys' brains don't fully develop until they're like 24. So they're crazy. And, I mean, and, I don't know. Even my
You're
husband, who is,
right. You're
even
right.
as
You're right.
goody two shoes the next, as goody two shoes as you could possibly can be, had a major, major potty mouth on him. And he was just always like a truck driver. And not to say that I wasn't, but I remember when we were first dating, it was like, it was weird because he was such a churchgoer and he was, at mass every single week and never missed and praying and all this other stuff. And then he'd be like, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, it didn't kind of go. But it took a while for him to curve that and to change, but they have to want to change, and I think that's the most important thing. I think one of the most important things is to keep a head about yourself. I think the most important thing for a mother to do is to have a life, not base her life around her children, to have her own life. Because
Uh-huh.
when you have a mom who's fulfilled without the children, there's not going to be that issue later on where they don't know what to do with themselves. Have a life with your husband if you have one.
Yeah.
Um,
Um, and I agree with that. And teenagers, Alicia, I'm going to ask you to figure out how to get you're breaking up a lot. Can you move closer to your modium or something?
I'm right next to it.
You
It's
are?
like behind me, like maybe a foot next to my hip.
I don't know what it is then. So our advice, I think Elisa would agree with me on this then, is be patient. They will outgrow it. And if you be provoked by them, I think there's a verse that says love does not become provoked. Whether you believe the Bible or not, love does not become provoked. You have to be able to look at them and say, they just cursed, but I didn't make them do that. And they're going through a phase. And the best thing I could do is not meet them at their level. Don't meet them at the teenage level
Exactly.
and yell at them. Find a way to communicate to them. One of the things I keep saying to my daughter and over again is you need to communicate with me when you're angry, not cuss. Also, one of the things I noticed that really is helpful is we do have the internet, but it stays upstairs. They don't take it to their bedroom. They don't get to have internet in private areas. It keeps them safe as far as I'm concerned because they know I could come by any time and see what they're doing, so they try to keep things up and up. And when it's really out of hand, I just unplug the internet, and nobody likes that. No, I don't even like that. But if I have to, it's a nonviolent thing. It's a perfectly
Get
acceptable thing. We grew up without internet. It's not going to kill them. It might teach them patience, and it might make them think twice before they throw a fit or use bad language. So, it doesn't have to be forever. I can say, look, you keep doing this thing over and over. You want the internet back on, and I want you to stop doing that. So here, you do this, and then I'll turn the internet back on. So kind of been working on that. And another thing I noticed is they could be on the internet all day playing games, and I'm like, I thought the internet was for education. So please find a way to do some educational things, then do your games. Educational, then games. So I'm trying to work that in there too, so that they're doing a little bit of education with, and then games. So that it's not all, socializing on YouTube and Instagram and and all that good stuff. Um, so I'll let you, if you have something to say, Alicia. I'll let you know if you're still breaking up. Let's see how it goes.
Another thing I would say
Uh-huh.
is to make sure that you're not allowing yourself to be victimized by your children. Know
Mm.
that you still have the power to turn off the internet or the power to take things into control. I find sometimes even myself getting lazy and not wanting to deal with it. I have 7 children, so I get overwhelmed sometimes where I'm just like,
Mm.
just can't. And my sister says
I
to me,
know.
you are not a victim. Don't make yourself a victim. And
Mhm.
number one things that I have myself done in the past, which I'm embarrassed to admit to you, don't whine, because that is a weak place. Don't be like, don't try not to nag, because that comes from a place of weakness.
Mm.
And find a way to, like today, I had to sit down with my older boys and grab the basket and say, all right, whose is this? Whose is this? And throw it at them and be like, you put that away. If they're not going to come to the basket, I'm going to make the basket come to them. And does that take my time? Yes. But when it's done, it's done. And, I guess it's maybe could be a little bit of my fault for like having people do the laundry for them for so many years that now they don't want to do it. So I've had help with 7 kids. You all can imagine that I would need help. And I would have a girl come and fold the laundry, either give it to the boys or put it away, depending on their age. So I guess, when you raise them a certain way and then things change for us a little bit financially, and I didn't have the ability to keep her, then for them to now change to put it away is like, what? Like, they're not used to it either. So sometimes you got to put in a little bit of effort to keep things in track, but don't victimize yourself. Know that you have the power to take a break. Maybe it's a walk in the morning. Maybe you have to get up a little bit early to get your head clear and watch the sunrise or listen to the birds singing. But there's got to be time for you in order for you to empower yourself to not be a victim.
Exactly. I agree with that 100%. One of the other things I think we wanted to talk a little bit about is this is Girl Talk, and we just talk about the things that, influence us and that we're excited about and that we want to help other people learn about. And I've been listening to Tony Robbins' book, um, Master Money. And this is one of the books that I've been reading, and I'm really interested in the part where he talks about giving away money is what's going to make you rich. Having gratitude is going to make you rich. And he said the reason for that is because your head believes you'll get more. And when you come from a space of giving, even when you don't have it, you're coming from a space that says, I'm going to get more. And that belief right there is the fuel that actually allows you to get more. It's when you're afraid to give that you close off your receptors to receive because you're afraid to give. I'm not going to get more. Your belief um, is God is bad or the world is bad is going to come and reflect right back on you. And I really appreciated what he had to say about that, because it's very true. I know that when I come from a generous gratitude spirit, I have more energy, I am happier, and I definitely have more success. But when I come from worry, oh, I'm worried about my kids, I'm worried about this, I'm worried about that, I'm worried about money, I'm worried about I can't give anybody anything because I don't have anything to give, things only get worse for me. And that's what the way I lived my life for like 47 years was that scarcity mindset. And only when I got involved in network marketing did I learn that there's another mindset that you can have, which is a gratitude mindset. And even though I had the Bible, even though I had, good spiritual food, for some reason it didn't click till I got involved in network marketing. I guess it's because of the process you go through to become the kind of person you need to become to build a business. I don't know. How about you, Lisa? What do you want to say about that?
Um, Definitely. I think, what you say to yourself, one of my favorite things that I like to say to myself is, um, I'm rich beyond my wildest dreams. I am, I am, I am. And sometimes I'll even sing it, and
Mm.
I'll sing it in the car. I'm rich beyond my wildest dreams. I am, I am, I am. I'm rich beyond my wildest dreams. I am, I am, I am. I'm rich beyond my wildest dreams. I'm rich beyond my wildest dreams. I am, I am, I am. And it just kind of takes my mind off of when I get a bill and I look at it and it says $16,000, and I go, okay, that's going to be paid off. Woohoo! Instead of going, oh my God, where am I going to get $16,000 from? I'm never going to pay it off. I'm going to be in debt. So
Yeah.
that's my dental bill. And so I talked to the dentist one day and I said, look, I know I don't have a ton of money right now. I know I'm paying you as much as I can, but one day I know I'm going to pay this bill off. Can we set up a fund where I can give you money so that somebody who's in my same situation could be relieved by me? Because I really believe that I will be in a position one day soon to be able to set up a fund where if some lady can't pay you and she owes you $10,000, you can take $1,000 from me and give it to her and say, see, it's been donated. Here, your bill, or even if I had $10,000, to
Hmm.
give to somebody, set up a little fund where I can give them maybe $200 a month to donate to someone who can't pay their bill.
You know what? I got to say something about that, Alicia. There is the Tony Robbins book. He talks about mutual funds, the lies about mutual funds, the lies about saving your money, and all those things. It's not the same as it used to be. He talks about what he's done to make it available to poor people, um, stocks, exchanges, and stuff like that, and how to do it properly. And him and this billionaire, Ray Dawes, I believe, have set it up so that you can now invest your money as a poor person and get returns for your retirement. I haven't looked it all up yet, but it's in the book, Tony Robbins' Money Mastery. And I got it through Audible because I don't really have time to sit down and read most of the time. I'm busy, so I listen to it in the car. And I'm telling you, since I started doing listening to audio books in the car, I have more um, confidence, more uh, what's that expression? Enthusiasm for life, because I can see that, like Tony said, one of the things he learned when he was a little boy and they had no food, they were really poor, they really didn't have any food, and their parents were fighting. If somebody came over and it was Thanksgiving and gave them a ton of food, and he goes, that proved to me my dad was wrong. My dad says nobody gives a crap about us. And when they did that, it proved to him that there are people that do care about him. And so his life mission was always to help other people. And I think that's yours and mine too. We love helping people.
We do.
So when he did that, he the point is that is what he bases his work on. Is he wants to help people, and the billionaire and all that told him that you don't trust stockbrokers, you don't trust those people. They're the only business that doesn't have to give you a profit, but can still take the money that you gave them and bill you, even though they didn't provide anything of service for you. And the book's just, I really recommend reading that book if you are poor and broke. One of the ways to get out of poverty is to read really good books. And of course, to apply really good principles in your life. Quit smoking, quit overeating, quit overdrinking, quit gambling. Those are also really great ways to add more money in your life. And think positive and give money away. I think there's a scripture I always, if somebody asks for it, give it. And so if somebody, needs something, they ask for it. If they're willing to ask me for it, I'll give it to them. So watch everybody ask me for money. I'll give you what I can. If you ask me for it, I'll give you what I can. But that is how Tony Robbins kind of put it. And he is having an interview on Saturday with Eric War. We talked about this yesterday. Just a reminder for everybody, Saturday is going to be that interview. And you can hear Tony Robbins talk and see if he doesn't give you some inspiration about your own life. I do want to talk about one other thing, though. It's called, there's a business out there where they get you in for a lot of money, and they are all on drugs. They're taking that Adderall thing from South America, which probably is a good drug if you're using it for medicinal purposes. They are using it to get closer to God. Here's my question for people who do drugs to get closer to God. Here's my question. You're telling me that in order for people to draw close to God, they got to take a drug? Really? When Jesus drew close to God, he just stopped taking everything. 40 days and 40 nights or whatever it was, just stopped taking. So where did they get this idea and reason that somehow that drug is going to bring them closer to God? And I'm going to tell you how. It's because the word druggery comes from the word pharmaceutical, which comes from the word psychic, something like that. I can't pronounce these words properly. I'll leave a link below. But those words come from the word spiritism, which was highly used by people who practice burning their children in fire, people who practice bestiality, people who practice sex worship. Exactly. They drugged themselves. Spiritism. They would drug themselves so that they could get closer to God through these practices. So, and the drugs, of course, lower your inhibitions so that you do those things. And everybody else is doing them, right? So who could be behind that kind of behavior? Certainly not the true God. He would never make us act in such a gross way, and maybe to some people that's not gross. Well, fine, go for it. Yeah. So I am just putting a warning out there to you. If you are thinking about joining a company or a person who is using drugs to draw closer to God, here's the thing: almost all of us use drugs. I mean, some of us are medicated, some of us have cigarettes, some of us drink coffee, Coke, whatever, caffeine, and people consider that a drug. Alcohol. However, I'm not going to tell you go drink coffee or go do alcohol because it will bring you closer to God, because it brings me closer to God. I'm not going to set that example. I'm going to say don't. Find another way if you can. But I'm not going to judge you if you smoke or you drink coffee, or I drink coffee. I don't care. But if you're going to tell people that that's how they can get close to God, then I'm going to care. What about you, Alicia? Maybe you have a thought about that. And if you
I
break up, I'm going to turn you out.
It's wacky. I never heard of it before, so I I can't imagine anybody would ever want to do that. I know, give it to God, shut your mouth, close your mind.
Hmm. Well, there's wacky stuff out there these days. Did you know Beyonce has a cult that follows her and believes that she is Jesus Christ on earth today? That's wacky.
Okay.
I mean, it's pretty wacky out there, and I'm with you. I can't believe some of the wacky stuff I hear. Oh, another new wacky one. Now, this one, I'm telling you, is going to get a lot of people mad. But they're claiming Obamacare is going to put a chip in our body. Now,
Oh,
some
there is
people,
that. That's
that's a hoax. Do you know why it's a hoax? Because even if he was going to do that, he would think there's nothing wrong with it, and he would tell there wouldn't be a problem with it. But the wording on a piece of paper just talked about the different ways that they could get people their Obamacare, and that wasn't even a chip. It was something else. I don't remember what it was. But there's paperwork on that too, and I will post it below. The point is, even if he does put a chip in there, everybody on the planet, because that's what would happen. I remember when we got our when I found out about Social Security and I heard about having the number, and I thought, well, Social Security is the number. You know, so we all go through phases where we think this is the number, that's the number, this is the number. So here's the thing. If somebody wants to put a chip in me, and I think it's not healthy, I will just say no. And if they force it on me, that's different. You're not responsible if somebody forces it on you. You can't do anything about that. But for people who have a really strong opinion about that, just say no.
yeah.
Instead of making up all these stupid stories and getting people all worked up. And that's what I see happening is another story, here's the stories that come out. I don't get it. That Obama's wife's really a man. He's gay. When are we going to stop this crap?
Yeah.
You know, if you don't see it and you haven't had it happen to you, it doesn't necessarily make it true. And just because somebody says it's true doesn't make it true. And look at the source who's saying it. Look at the source. And are they people who are out to get Obama? Are they people who are out to get Michelle? If they are, why would you believe somebody who hates them? Now if somebody came out that was friends of theirs and they want to tell us, hey, I just found this out, they're going to kill everybody and blah, blah, or whatever. We might, but what can you do about it? Really? So we're worried about things. There's nothing. Is there really? And what does it do with your energy? It sucks your energy out when you worry about things you can't do anything about. Be proactive. If that happens to you, don't take the tip if you feel that that's
On the
the
floor.
sign of the beast. If you don't know what the sign of the beast is, read Revelation. If you want Revelation explained to you, I'll be happy to explain it to you. But everybody is comfortable with their own beliefs usually. And if they're not and they want to know more, you want to go find somebody who can tell you more, that is somebody you trust. That's the important thing. Find people you trust. And even then, no one's perfectly trustworthy. We're human. So it's got to take
Can
us
you
with their
hear me?
flaws.
Can you hear me?
Let's see. Yep, I can hear you. Let's see if you can talk without any background noise.
I
Go ahead.
hope so. Yeah, it's true. The whole chip thing is true. It's like the 666 number. It's very true.
Well, the thing is, they're calling the people who they're claiming are doing it are saying no, we're not. That's a hoax. Here's the other thing. You don't think the Social Security, when you first got your Social Security, you didn't think that was the 666?
Oh, you know what? I don't know. I guess it is.
It isn't. here's the thing. When it happens, the 666, when it happens, when it does happen, everyone will know. You'll know what it is, and you'll know, and you'll willingly accept it if that's your deal.
Mm.
Because here's the thing, Alicia, what God requires of people is to love their neighbor. And
Yep.
that's not what the 666 person requires.
Right.
And there are people on this planet who do not want to love their neighbor. They're totally against that.
That's
And they
true.
will not side with those who are loving their neighbor. They will not side with that. They have made up their mind that whatever it is, the Alamis are bad or the Christians are bad or whatever it is that they think is bad, that they're worthy of killing their neighbor for, and they're not going to have a problem taking that 666. That's how I look at it. The people that are going to have a problem taking it are the people loving their neighbor, and they're not going to do it. And there's nothing they can do about it happening. Nothing. It's going to happen, and they're just going to have to say no. So why worry about it?
Yeah.
That's the whole point. Don't worry about it. When it happens, it happens. Be prepared to just say no. Right?
Yep.
So anyway, it is 11:30. Our show is over. Tomorrow, we're going to be doing another show, and it'll probably be at 11 o'clock again, unless
That's fine.
if all goes well. And we're going to talk about some other hot topics. These are pretty hot topics today, and hopefully we'll be able to help you see that your life is worth a lot more than putting energy into worrying about things that may or may not happen, and that you can put your energy into creating a more positive, beautiful life for yourself and your family. And that's what we're about, building a better, more positive life for you and your family by thinking about the future and taking your time and seeing what you want in your life in the future. So Alicia would talk more, but her speakers are just messed up.
Yeah, I don't know.
Now,
Sorry.
that's okay. And one last thing we want to talk about before we go is Alicia and I have not gotten our products from Ketopia yet. We are going to be burning fat. Our body's going to be burning the fat off of us, and we're really excited about that. It's
Yep.
a process called ketosis.
Yep.
And if you want to join us in our weight loss journey, and it's not a weight loss journey, what was the other fat burning journey
Lifestyle.
forever? We're going to be doing a challenge and helping others to burn the fat off their waist and thighs, if that's where they have it, with this patented product. And we are really excited to share it with others. We've seen the results in other people. I have some stuff posted on my Facebook wall, and I will have some stuff posted in this at the bottom of the links here. So if you want to join us in our weight loss, let us know, and we will be happy to help you. And we'll be doing hangouts on just that when we get our products. So talk to you later.
Okay.
Bye-bye.